Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup for 2016, the third edition of this Dorna-backed championship. A series that acts as a feeder class to the world of motorcycle racing, potentially unearthing the young racing talent from the Asia Pacific region. 20 riders aged between 12 and 19 are all racing on identical Honda NSF 250Rs as they race 12 times in the 2016 season, with 10 featuring on the same schedule as the MotoGP World Championship and the Motul FIM Superbike World Championship. Riders from Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, China and Australia, and this year India and Turkey too. There are 14 rookies taking part this year. Previous champions include Kaito Toba in 2014 and of course last year Ayumu Sasaki, who of course then went on this year to become the Red Bull Rookie Champion. You are looking at the stars of the future. They're looking to carve their way in to the world of bike racing. So it's a warm welcome then to the Twin Ring in Motegi, ready here for round 5 of the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup for races 9 and 10. 4 races remain in the championship, and it's a close one. Last year, of course, Ayumu Sasaki became the champion, hailing from Japan. In fact, both of the previous Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup champions hailed from Japan. And this year, well, there's one of 7 that could still get their hands on this 2016 title. At the moment, Somkiat Chantra of Thailand is the rider that has one hand on the trophy, but it's not even quite that one hand just yet. He has a slender 8-point lead over Andy Izdihar of Indonesia, and there's plenty more riders to boot to look out for in this championship. Chantra on 130, Izdihar on 122. Lining up on pole position here in Motegi with 4 races remaining is Yuki Kuni here. Brilliant ride from him last time out for the number 5. The 13-year-old, who's 6th in the championship, is 36 points behind overall. So 4 good races and anything can happen for him. A brilliant win for him in China last time out. Put him really in contention. Of course, he started out in Thailand, in Chang International Circuit. Then they went to Qatar, Sepang, and then Zhuhai in China. Second on the grid here today in race 1, with race 2 following tomorrow, is Ryusei Yamanaka. Yamanaka has done a great job here to get himself up there, number 12. Ryusei, who is 5th in the championship at the moment on 111 points. Still a chance for him to win this championship, but a costly crash whilst leading for him back in China means that he's just a little adrift. He's not yet had a race win in the championship. That could change today. Third on the grid to make it Japan 1, 2, 3 is Kazuki Masaki. Now Kazuki is 16. He's been in this championship before. He finished 3rd overall in 2015 with wins here at Motegi in 2015 and in Sepang as well. Started the year off with a couple of steady performances in Thailand and Qatar. He's just about there or thereabouts. He's 7th in the championship. He's got a bit of work to do. 4th on the grid for Ai Ogura, number 9, another Japanese rider. He's currently 4th in the championship and is only 11 points behind. That's how close it is. The results for him in China are a win and a 3rd. Means that he is really back in the game now, having crashed out in Sepang whilst leading the round before. Nice to see some of the fans here staying on to watch this race, although a couple of them catching a few winks before the race begins. Here's Andy Izdihar then, the Indonesian rider, 19-year-old, second oldest in the championship. He was 9th in the championship 2015 and a winner in Lusail, Qatar last year, and second in Sepang. So far this year, a race winner twice, as we just mentioned. So a good opportunity for him. Qatar and Malaysia seem to be the happy hunting ground. He's going to have to put in a decent performance here. He is second in the championship, though. He's played catch-up all year. Somkhet Chantra, the Thai rider, 17-year-old, 12th in the championship in 2015, but it was an injury-plagued season. He won the opening round of the championship in the Chang International Circuit on home turf last year, but then got himself injured, ruled himself out of contention. Well, this year he's come out firing. A win in Thailand again, another win in Sepang. He's been on the podium a number of times, and he is the championship leader. He is the only rider in the top 5 of the championship to have finished every race. And when you consider there are only 12 races in the championship, it is so important to stay upright. As you can see here, all of these riders on identical machines, identical leathers. Therefore, it is a commentator's nightmare. So we'll do our very best to keep you updated throughout. We've seen some rip-roaring races over the last couple of years since this championship came out. And of course, it has been really great to watch. Led in part, of course, this championship by world-famous talent scout Alberto Puig, who looks after these guys as well, as we see Jerry Salim lining up 7th on the grid. Jerry Salim, who was 6th in the championship last year, race winner also in Qatar. He and Yuki Kuni, who were on pole position, battled away for the race 2 win in China last time out. Salim with a really good effort. There's Shogo Kawasaki, sporting the number 15 there. Kawasaki's 8th in the championship. He's yet to finish in the top 6 of a race this year, just out of championship contention as a result of that. So there are 7 riders that could potentially get their names on the winner's trophy, but not a lot splitting them. That is why every single race and every single point so important as these guys prepare themselves now to get going on this warm-up lap. And what an opportunity it is, of course, for these guys to head out at a round at the MotoGP World Championship, as it was for them when they visited us at Qatar at the start of the year. And of course they followed the World Superbike Championship in Thailand and in Sepang. They'll be back at Sepang with this MotoGP World Championship again in a fortnight as well. So Somkhet Chantra is the man to look out for. There he is, number 18, the championship leader, 8 points clear of Andy Izdihar. Number 2 there is Kazuki Masaki, a rider that featured last year and battled with Ayumu Sasaki all the way for the title. In the end, it didn't quite work out for him. Number 3, already in the slipstream of Somkhet Chantra here on the warm-up lap, is one of 2 twins, Can Oncu from Turkey, twin brother Deniz as well. Both of them 13-year-olds and have really started to pick up their results of late. There've been a couple of top 6 finishes for Deniz and a couple of decent top 10s as well for Can Oncu, who's qualified in a really strong 6th place overall, the number 3. Further down the order, you've got Australian rider Tom Edwards. He'll start from 15th place. A couple of familiar names for you as well. You'll probably recognise the surname Khairuddin. That's Idam Khairuddin, younger brother of Fahmi, of course, former Grand Prix rider currently in the World Supersport Championship, and Bahattin Sofoglu. And Sofoglu certainly will ring a bell. Turkish rider. He's the cousin of multi-World Supersport champion Kenan. Of course, Kenan won't be able to watch his cousin in action here live. The World Superbike Championship at the moment over in Jerez. I would imagine it's probably morning over there at the moment. So very good morning to those watching from over there. If you're wondering what that gravel is on the circuit, I can tell you that's courtesy of a certain Johan Zarco, who's just been out in Moto2 qualifying. He crashed having collected pole position and then scattered a load of gravel out on circuit. Hopefully that won't be a problem for these riders. It's so close then, 11 points between 4 of them. Anything can happen. It's the normal points format as well, 25 for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third. But we will see here in a 15-lap race who will reign supreme. Can Somkhet Chantra hold on to his lead as they now make their way onto the grid, ready for the start of this 15-lap race? Number 5 there, Yuki Kuni, lining up on pole position, the 13-year-old. First year in the championship. 6th overall, 94 points. But comes here on form. Started the year out with a couple of 8s and a couple of 6th place finishes, but since Malaysia has been a regular feature in the top 4. Here we go. The lights go on. And away we go then here in the Asia Talent Cup. It wasn't a great start from Kuni on pole position. It was, though, for number 9, Agura, who flies through. Likewise, good start for Yamanaka, number 12. But Agura, what a start there from him. He's flown through and managed to get himself up there from row 2. Brilliant job by him. And we're on board now with the championship leader. We're going to see plenty of him. Quite an aggressive rider at times, but he's already been swallowed up here and he's going to have to be really careful. These guys will take lumps out of each other. There's quite a bit of respect there, but it's so easy to fall. Chantra, at the moment, the only rider not to have fallen that is inside the top 5 or 6. A rider almost going into the gravel trap there. And it is still... that got really close. Yuki Kuni, number 5, the pole sitter, almost found himself in the gravel trap himself. But it's Agura that has the lead early on from Yamanaka. Yamanaka currently 5th in the championship. Agura 4th in the championship. They could do with finishing in 1st or 2nd place, with Somkhet Chantra struggling a bit in these opening stages. The championship leader's already down in 9th place. Yuki Kuni, the man on pole, already trying to make headway, and now number 2, Kazuki Masaki, has threaded his way through into 2nd place. So we have a decent selection here at the front of Japanese riders that are flying away. We've got a rider down in the background. We'll get confirmation of who that is in a moment. Yuki Kuni is making all sorts of shapes, trying to find a way through. You can see here we're getting towards the end of the day in Motegi. It's only just gone 4:15, but it gets dark so quickly here. The sun is setting. Agura has the lead as they drop downhill here at Motegi into turn 11, the 90-degree right-hander, with Masaki just up behind him, number 2. Under the tunnel they come, around turns 12, 13, and then around Victory Corner, the final turn here at Motegi in Japan, and onto the start-finish straight to complete lap number 1. Slipstream, absolutely crucial here at a circuit like Motegi. Agura will lead across the line. Will he lead into turn 1? It might not be the case for him as Masaki tries to look through, but Agura remains strong. Yamanaka remains in 3rd place, and around the outside there, Yuki Kuni tries to go through. Somkhet Chantra here, the championship leader, still in the hunt, but he's in 9th place at the moment. He's just keeping himself to himself. I can tell you that the faller was Roropod Niam Sakul, who's gone down. There is a move from number 5, Yuki Kuni underneath Yamanaka. Kuni here, well, he's in such great form. He really could lift himself into contention with a podium finish. Looking further back there, the slipstream, as you can see, absolutely crucial. And now Kazuki Masaki goes into the lead. Kazuki Masaki probably came into this 2016 season as the favourite to win the championship. It's not worked out that way for him. He's not found the podium since Qatar, and it's the only time he's been up there. He needs a win. In fact, he probably needs a couple to be considered any sort of threat to Somkhet Chantra in the championship. Here we see a few riders feinting 1 or 2 moves there, but it is Masaki that leads from Agura. Kuni in 3rd place, Yamanaka 4th, then Izdihar in 5th, number 23. Just behind Izdihar is Jerry Salim, number 4, and then number 19 is Riku Sujuara. On board now with the rider in 2nd place then, Agura. Yuki Kuni, the rider that was on pole position, just up behind him, and already now Agura moving into the lead, and Masaki has gone from 1st down to 3rd. They plunge downhill into turn 11. It's ever so easy to get wrong, that one. You can take various lines through there, and then you've got to get your job done and pick your line through, and that's incredibly aggressive. Really nicely done there from Masaki to get himself back up into second place. And now look who's coming to try and get the slipstream. It's Yamanaka, number 12. There's a good look over the shoulder there from Yuki Kuni. He's getting frustrated, and all this jostling has just allowed a bit of breathing space for the time being there for Ai Agura. 203.835 for him. The lap record around this place is a 202.8. Adam Noureddin, believe it or not, the Moto3 World Championship rider, has that lap record. So we're about half a second off that. But Yuki Kuni's pole position time was the best lap we've ever seen on one of these NSF 250Rs. Still a bit of gravel on circuit there. Ai Agura leads from Masaki. They're all in each other's slipstream, and here comes Yamanaka, number 12, having a look as well. Masaki goes into the lead. Yuki Kuni there in 5th place, and the championship leader, keep an eye on him, number 18, Somkit Chantra from Thailand, is just slowly threading his way through the field. There he is, just up ahead of 23, Andy Izdihar from Indonesia. Those two are 1st and 2nd in the championship, and at the moment they are 5th and 6th on circuit. On board now with the championship leader, Chantra. He's a clever rider, Somkit Chantra. Doesn't do anything too silly in the early stages of races, and consistency has been the key to him building a championship lead. Okay, it might only be 8 points, but you end up in a gravel trap in an Asia Talent Cup championship race, and you have got a serious amount of catching up to do overall in the championship. Couple of riders out, in fact. Niem Sakansako, we said earlier on, Utama has gone out of the race as well, so we've only got 18 riders left in the field. 15 riders can score points, so there's points on offer to plenty here. Ai Agura still leads from Masaki, Yamanaka and Yuki Kuni. Then it's Somkit Chantra, number 18, Andy Izdihar, Jerry Salim, Shoga Kawasaki, Sujiwara. Chan On Chu is in 10th place, having started 6th. And then it's Nakamura, Kairuddin, Denitz On Chu, Ardian Sa and Supata. That should top 15. It won't stay like that for long, let me tell you. With 12 laps to go. Ai Agura at 203.5, but it was a quicker lap there from Yamanaka in 3rd place. And Chantra, now the fastest rider on circuit, into the 202s for the first time. And I fear that Adam Noureddin's lap record might not last much longer. The championship standings on lap 3 of 15. 3 points it would be in favour of Ai Agura. That's how much things could change, but I think there's going to be a few more twists and turns as yet here in this first race in Motegi. They'll have another race tomorrow. Then, of course, they'll join us in Sepang for a couple of races as well. This championship will not be decided here in Motegi. There is Kazuki Masaki, number 2, moving up into the lead ahead of Ai Agura. That would then effectively mean he won't be championship leader if things stayed the way they were. Ai Agura, though, fights back. Yuki Kuni now is up as high as he's been since he started the race from pole position, and Somkit Chantra there trying to thread his way through. Number 12 looking aggressive as well, Yamanaka. They're making lines and cutting shapes around this circuit that you never knew actually existed. They will create overtaking opportunities where you thought you would never see them. Ai Agura at the moment staying strong at the front, defending this race very well indeed. What have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10 riders, the top 10, all here in a row, and a couple more as well to try and throw themselves in. We've got that Nakamura and Kairuddin in 11th and 12th, and if they can become a part of this group, then we will have a 24-wheel fight for the race lead. On board now with the championship leader, Somkit Chantra from Thailand. Experienced rider in this class. 12th last year in the championship, but as I mentioned before, he was injured for a large part of it. Here is Ai Agura then, up ahead of number 2, Masaki. There's Somkit Chantra, number 18. They're all trying to get in the slipstream of each other, and here comes Masaki again. No, faints a move, but Ai Agura stays out front. Yuki Kuni looking to go the long way round here at turns 1 and 2. Sort of double apex hairpin, if you like. Same again coming up into turns 3 and 4 here at Motegi. Now you can see number 12, Yamanaka, trying to find a way through, but no, they stay put for now. Somkit Chantra deciding just to keep himself with front row seats and keep an eye on proceedings, but doesn't want to do anything too silly. A championship leader he may be, but it would be his to lose if he threw it down the road. Masaki it is that is getting aggressive now then. Kazuki Masaki, number 2, leads ahead of Ayagura and Yuki Kuni on pole position. Yuki Kuni, at the start of this championship, the 13-year-old from Japan, was not expected to really feature that highly. He's finished every single race. 6th in the championship, and of course was the most recent winner in China. Masaki it is that leads, number 2. Number 9 is Ai Agura. Number 5, Yuki Kuni. Number 12, Yamanaka. The 4 Japanese riders at the front of this pack. Then it's the Thai championship leader, Somkit Chantra, and Andy Izdihar, the Indonesian. Long way round there for Yuki Kuni. That's not going to work. 18 riders still in the field here. 12 of them in with a shout of a podium, and probably 6 or 7 of them in the shout with a win. The background there, at the back of the pack, is number 19, Riku Sugawara, 9th in the championship, been making forward steps recently. Started the year out picking up the odd point here and there. More recently, he's picked up a couple of solid top 5 finishes. Ayagura there, pushing his front end on that little Honda, but moves through into the lead again as they make their way down and past start-finish straight. 10 laps to go here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Ayagura, tell you what, he does well coming out of that last turn in first place, just to hold off the slipstream of the rest. We'll see a replay of the start. Ayagura on row 2. What a start that was. Most of the riders on the front row made an absolute hash of that, with the exception perhaps of Yamanaka. On board with Ayagura here, and watch this. Goodbye, pole position man, number 5, Yuki Kuni. That is how you start a race. Brilliantly done. No jump starts. We got confirmation of that earlier on. So that was just perfectly executed by Ayagura. And here's a slow-mo replay of the number 9. The 15-year-old who was 7th in the championship last year. He got 3 podiums. He was 2nd here in Motegi last year, Ayagura. And he got a 1st and 2nd in China as well. The 1st place and the 3rd place finish for him last time out means that he's back on form. But the man who needs the points most of all currently leads, number 2, Kazuki Masaki. Currently 7th in the championship on 78 points. He's a whole 52 behind Somkit Chantra. It would take something rather momentous for him to end up as champion, but he could still finish in the top 3 overall. He leads from Yamanaka and Ayagura, who's now dropped down to 3rd place. It's all change here. Somkit Chantra stays put, the championship leader, in 5th place. And the rider 2nd in the championship, Andy Izdihar, is just following his every move. There he is, number 23, although he's about to be overtaken potentially there by number 3, Chan On-Chu, who really doesn't care about the championship. He's just interested in getting his best ever result. Yamanaka takes the lead of the race then. We're on board with Ayagura. Onto the start-finish straight. There is number 5, Yuki Kuni, and that's how you work slipstream. Perfectly done there from Yuki Kuni. Yamanaka leads. Yuki Kuni up into 2nd place. Yuki Kuni, the only time he's led this race so far was when he was lined up on pole position. Can he change that now as he tries to pull out of the slipstream of number 12, Yamanaka? Yuki Kuni could be going to the front of this race for the first time since he started the race on Polandars. He goes into the lead. Yuki Kuni, the winner last time out in China, leads here in Japan. Nicely done there from Kuni. A big look over the shoulder from number 12, Ryusei Yamanaka. Yamanaka, the 14-year-old who was 15th overall in the championship last year. That's how much he's come on, and that's how much he's learned. He came into this season with a bang. A 3rd and a 2nd, then a 4th and a 5th, and a couple of seconds in Sepang when the World Superbike Championship were in Malaysia. But Yamanaka's championship really took a bit of a wallop in China, because he crashed out of the first race and lost big points. As a result of that, he finds himself now 19 adrift, down in 5th place. This is how the championship standings look now, 3 laps later, on lap 6 of 15. Chantra would hold on to his lead, but it would come down from an 8-point lead into a 6-point lead. It would be 10 points between 4 riders with 3 races to go. Unbelievable here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Here we go then. Down the back straight, dropping downhill into turn number 11. Yuki Kuni, since taking the lead over at turn number 3, has held on to it nicely. Under the tunnel. Top two there just starting to break away. The feeling was in qualifying yesterday, Yuki Kuni's lap time was so good, 4/10 quicker than anyone else, that if he was able to get out front and gap one or two riders, he might just be able to clear off here and pick up a win. Well, he's out the front at the moment, and he's just set the new lap record at 2:01.751 for Yuki Kuni. That is a small matter of 1.1 seconds quicker than the old lap record, and he is gapping the rest of the field. There you get confirmation of it. The fastest lap, it's a lap record. Second place for Yamanaka at the moment, and that was close between number 9, Ogura, and Masaki, number 2. Those two can ill afford to wipe each other out of this one. There is Andy Izdihar, who's now got himself ahead of championship leader Somkit Chantra. So Chantra at the moment is staring a 6th place and 10 points in the face. Further back there is Chanon Chu up ahead of number 4, Jerry Salim. Jerry Salim, the 19-year-old, 6th in last year's championship, a race winner earlier in the season in Qatar. But these guys now have to work together to close that gap down on Yuki Kuni. If he broke the lap record last time, what will he do here? The circuit record, his pole position time was a 2:01.4. He's 3/10 off that, but he's got clear air. Here we see a replay coming onto the start-finish straight. Ooh, Ayagura going for an off-track excursion. And that's why there's now a bit of a gap back to the rest of the field. On board with him there. Well, he didn't shut off the throttle, did he? Brilliantly done here from these youngsters. Now then, back to the action. And they cross the line. It will be 7 laps to go. They come down the back straight. Yuki Kuni here at the moment with a bit between his teeth, ahead of number 12, Yamanaka, number 9, Ayagura, number 2, Kazuki Masaki. Those that have been wondering where the next generation of Japanese riders were coming from need look no further, thanks to this Dorna-backed series. Of course, Kaito Toba is coming through the ranks. Ayumu Sasaki will be in the Moto3 World Championship next year and is the Red Bull Rookie Champion. So you win this and you've got a really good chance of going on to some great things. The top 6 in last year's championship are all in the CEV Repsol Championship this year as well. So there's so many opportunities there. Andy Izdihar, number 23, out of the saddle. And Somkit Chantra, number 18, see him at the back of that shot. He's struggling to stay in touch with this group. And this could be a salvage job coming up from the Thai rider. His series lead of 8 points is under real threat. Yuki Kuni, at the moment, 6th in the championship, 36 points behind. A win here, and that would be 2 wins on the trot. And all of a sudden you have to consider the Japanese 13-year-old as an actual contender here for the championship, which you would not have thought possible when we went into China for a rider that had not seen a podium before. But it just goes to show you what confidence can do. The race win in China has lit him up. We're on board now with Ayagura in the background there. Kazuki Masaki really has got this final sector nailed. Number 2, he makes light work there of Yamanaka and moves into 3rd place. He needs a podium, does Masaki, number 2. You can see there, most of these riders got the same helmets as well. And of course we've got 4 Japanese riders in the top 4 as well, so they've all got the Land of the Rising Sun sticker just on top of their visor as well. So it's only the numbers to separate them. There is Yuki Kuni. He is your race leader from Ayagura. Heading downhill into turn 11, again, there is number 9 in 2nd, Ayagura. Then it's Kazuki Masaki, Yamanaka and Andy Izdihar, who's 2nd in the championship, number 23, the only non-Japanese rider to feature in the top 5 at the moment. And then it really is the case that Somkit Chantra at the moment, 6th place could be the best case scenario for the Thai rider. Further back, Sujiwara has moved up into 7th place, Chanon Chu is up into 8th, Kawasaki 9th, and in 10th is Jerry Salim. Yuki Kuni maintaining about a 6/7/10 gap at the front. Fastest rider on that last lap though was Kazuki Masaki. We're on board with Ayagura in 2nd, looking back at Masaki, who just put in the fastest lap of the race. This could be a proper scrap here now for the remaining podium places. And Masaki up the inside, so not content with posting the fastest lap of his race so far. He now wants to put the chase on for Yuki Kuni. Ayagura is trying to bite back immediately, and this will just allow Yuki Kuni a bit more breathing space, but no, Misaki stays there. There is number 12, Yamanaka, just up ahead of Andy Izdihar, sorry. Somkit Chantra, that last lap, 2:02.9, was a whole second off the pace with 6 laps to go. 6th place would give him 10 points. And so Yuki Kuni here with a race win. What would that be? A 15-point haul, 21 points down on Somkit Chantra going into tomorrow's race with 3 to go. It's more than possible, but a long way to go as yet in this race. You're looking at the race leader, number 5, Yuki Kuni, 13-year-old from Japan. Another Japanese rider in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Number 2, Kazuki Misaki, the 16-year-old. Ayagura, number 9, 15-year-old. Yamanaka, number 12, the 14-year-old. All these young teenagers that are coming through from the Asia region. And it's not like they've just been picked out of a hat either. There are hundreds that enter the selection process. And of course, with Alberto Puig and Hiroshi Ayama, former 250cc world champion, keeping their eye on things, they pick the best of the bunch. And this is what we're left with. And these guys are going to feature one way or another in the World Championships in the next year or two. Change here now then for 2nd place as Kazuki Misaki goes back into 2nd place ahead of Ayagura. Yamanaka then still in 4th. And Andy Izdihar, number 23, just at the back of that pack. Then Somkit Chantra, big gap beyond Chantra to Chanon Chu. He's on for a really good top 8 finish. Ayagura will not sit in 3rd place for long, will he? There he is, number 9, having gone back past Kazuki Misaki. Yamanaka now wants a slice of Misaki as well, as here comes Andy Izdihar, the Indonesian, 2nd in the championship. He's taken another place there. Moves him into 4th place. It would be 13 points for him, 3 more than Chantra. That would take the championship gap down to just 5, I believe. But he ain't done yet there just yet. Kazuki Misaki is next on his list. Andy Izdihar has done a good job of just sitting and waiting to pounce at the right moment. He'd have a job on to catch Yuki Kuni out front. I think everyone will, with the lap times he was posting yesterday in qualifying. But Andy Izdihar at the moment is the rider on the move. He posted the fastest lap of anyone on that last lap. Still around about, well, that gap's extended actually at the front. It's now almost a second that Yuki Kuni had in his back pocket. He still can't afford to make a mistake, of course. But if he doesn't put a foot wrong here, you have to fancy Yuki Kuni taking 2 wins in 2 races. Ayagura then in 2nd place. There is Misaki in 3rd. Andy Izdihar in 4th place. On board now with Ayagura. Looking back at Kazuki Misaki. Still 18 riders in the field. The last point scorer as it stands is Bahattin Sofoglu, Turkish rider, cousin to multi-world supersport champion Keenan. Across the line we go, 4 laps to go. Yuki Kuni at the moment, it's a 2:02.35 for him, fastest lap of those around him. He looks like he's got this one in the bag. Number 9, Ayagura in 2nd, and now Andy Izdihar has moved up into 3rd place. Kazuki Misaki goes up alongside him, squeezes underneath into turn number 3. Excellently done there from Misaki. So Andy Izdihar's going to have to try again. Just wonder if this squabbling between them would allow Somkit Chantra back in, but when I glimpsed at the timesheets, I realised that's not going to be possible, because Somkit Chantra at the moment is lapping a second a lap slower than the top 5. There is Ayagura then now in 2nd place with Misaki in 3rd. Andy Izdihar 4th, Yamanaka in 5th. This really could tighten up the championship even more. There were 19 points between 5 riders. That's going to come down. There'll be 21 points between 6 riders as it stands. Any one of these 4 riders here from 2nd down to 5th could end up on the podium there's going to be two very disappointed candidates as well. As it stands, Kuni, Ogura and Motegi would be the three Japanese riders on the podium here at their home circuit, the one and only time they visit Japan on the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup calendar. Going into turn 11 once more. There's going to be 3 laps left for Yuki Kuni when he crosses that line. 3 laps and he'll take another win. He started the season off, Yuki Kuni, with a 6th and an 8th in Thailand, which wasn't bad for a debut. Then an 8th and a 6th in Qatar, and a 7th and a 4th in Malaysia. And at that point, he was some way off Somkit Chantra's massive tally in the series. But a 5th and a 1st in China, and things have changed. There you go. As it stands, Ogura would now move from 4th place in the championship up into 2nd, and would be just 1 point behind Somkit Chantra going into tomorrow's race. Somkit Chantra is ensuring here that it will 100% go to the final races of the season in Sepang. Had Somkit Chantra done the double here this weekend and a few other results went his way, it was mathematically possible for him to be crowned champion. But courtesy of finishing 6th overall in this race, which is what it certainly looks like at the moment, he ensures that it now 100% goes to Malaysia and the final round, as we see slow-mo images here of your race leader, Yuki Kuni, who started on pole, bogged the start a bit, but once he finally picked off these guys behind him and found his way to the front, he's managed his gap beautifully, although it looks like that gap's just come down a little, doesn't it? That's not a second anymore. What's that, 5/6 tenths? We'll look at it next time they go through the 3rd sector. Yuki Kuni, who looked to have this one comfortably wrapped up, might still have a bit of work to do here. Down into turn 11 then. Can Ogura close that gap down on the race leader? It was 0.8 of a second going through sector 3. I'll have another look when they go across the line, and it'll be the start of the penultimate lap. They've already got the lights on in the tunnel. It's getting dark here in eastern Japan. We're about 100 miles northeast of Tokyo here at the Twin Ring. Across the line then, 2 laps to go. Yuki Kuni crosses the line, 2:01.9, 0.7 of a second he has. Brilliant lap there from Andy Izdihar of 2:01.660. And I believe that's now, in turn, the fastest lap of the race so far. Further back there, you see number 20. It's Hiroki Nakamura. And number 13, Idam Khairuddin. Now those guys are battling for 11th and 12th places. Just behind those guys, yet to go across the line, is Denitson Chu, Ardian Shah, and Batin Sofwoglu. Through sector 1, Yuki Kuni maintains that 7/10 lead ahead of number 9, Ogura. Ogura is going to have the lap of his life here if he's to consider himself in contention of winning this race. 2nd place would not be a bad result for him. Kazuki Motegi won't want to be off the podium. He's been there or thereabouts all the way through this race. Finishing off the podium would probably sum up his season so far, but at the moment it's Andy Izdihar that's going to do some damage there in 3rd place. Ogura would take 20 points. Andy Izdihar in 3rd would take 16. So I think there'd be, wow, I think that would actually be 2 points between 3 riders. But Motegi has just changed it all around as he moves back into 3rd place. Don't count out Yamanaka just yet either. Currently a rider 19 points adrift, 5th overall in the championship. We come around turns 12, 13 and 14 here at the Twin Ring Motegi, the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup, and we begin the final lap of the race. Yuki Kuni started the race on pole position and at the moment holds a 7/10 of a second lead across the line. Ayagura has done well here in second place, just to break away from the advances of this trio battling away for the final podium spot. Kazuki Masaki, it is, number 2. Just up behind him now, pulling out of the slipstream, is Andy Izdihar from Indonesia. Second overall in the championship. He needs as many points as possible, but Masaki says, no, you don't. Yamanaki said, I've had enough of being in 5th. I now want to fight for the podium as well. So this could get hot as we reach the final few sectors. 7/10 of a second still at the front. This has been a masterclass from Yuki Kuni. Even as he came under pressure here in the last couple of laps, he has managed this beautifully. He has got no problem whatsoever leading a race at the front. No pressure so far, and he's got half a lap to go to pick up his second Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup race win, but of course it would be on home turf and it would mean so much more. Ayagura still there in second place. His chances of winning this have gone unless Kuni was to make a massive mistake. He now has other issues because Kazuki Masaki is doing everything he can to try and close up, and you just know that 23 in Andy Izdihar and number 12 Yamanaki are not content with 4th and 5th places overall, not when there's some silverware on offer. The gap has just come down a bit there, maybe a nervy final few sectors for Yuki Kuni. What will change here as they make their way onto the back straight and then down into turn 11? Yuki Kuni's got this one in the bag. In the background though, Ayagura, who's had second place for a while, has lost it. Up through comes Kazuki Masaki. Yamanaka around the outside as well, but he's too wide. Him and Andy Izdihar touch as we now come under the tunnel. They touch again and Yamanaka's got it. Andy Izdihar here has lost a big bunch of points on this final lap. Yuki Kuni though, what a race it's been from him. He got pole position and he's got the win, and it's on home turf. Yuki Kuni wins race 1. Second place for Kazuki Masaki. And that is a well-needed podium for the number 2. Ayagura takes 3rd place, and Yamanaka 4th. Andy Izdihar there threw it all away in 5th place with Somkit Chantra in 6th. And I tell you what, 1 and 2 in the championship, finishing 5th and 6th here, has opened things up dramatically. What a lap that was, by the way. We should just point out, in the end, from Kazuki Masaki to pinch second off Ayagura, he got the lap record on the final lap of the race, a 2:01.548 to take second place. That's his best finish of the season so far. But it's Yuki Kuni, the 13-year-old that was 6th in the championship, that has just given himself a precious 25 points, and all of a sudden there's some light there at the end of the tunnel. There's more than light, there's a few lights and a couple of candles as well, because Yuki Kuni, 94 points he came into this race with, 36 adrift. That changes things. The championship leader Somkit Chantra finished in 6th and was never really able to figure in the proceedings. Kawasaki took 7th. Oh dear, and there's a big accident here on the final lap. Dennis Onchu, one of the twins, has gone down as well. Who else? Is there somebody else who's gone down? Irfan Ardinciar as well. 2 riders then. Ardinciar and, let's have a look at this one then. Ardinciar number 6, having a look up the inside. That's ambitious. There's not really a gap there, and he loses it and he wipes out Dennis Onchu. Oh, it's a nasty little accident there. I do hope that the pair of them are okay. The Turkish rider coming out the worst and taking a big whack to the head as he headed into the gravel trap. That means there's only 16 finishers, so I'll just continue with the rundown. And Kawasaki takes 7th, Chan Onchu 8th, Sujuwara 9th, Salim 10th, ahead of Nakamura Khairuddin, Tom Edwards 13th, Sofwoglu 14th, and Ikmal in 15th place. There's Kazuki Masaki, lap record on the final lap. He'll look to go one better tomorrow. So the riders that are 6th and 7th in the championship finished in 1st and 2nd here in this race, and the riders that are 1st and 2nd in the championship finished in 5th and 6th in this race. And so it won't take a mathematic genius to work out that 36 points between 6 riders that we had at the start of this race has changed considerably, and there won't be anywhere near as many as that now. There's a replay earlier on of the race-winning overtake from number 5 Yuki Kuni up the inside of Yamanaka, and from there he never looked back. He put the gap on the rest of the field whilst they were squabbling. And he just had that buffer, didn't he, of 6 or 7 tenths of a second. And no one could really do anything about it. The last lap was just about who could take the final podium places. A well-executed move there from Motegi, and then further behind as well. This is the view from Ayagura. That's where Motegi goes up the inside. In the background there, you can see Yamanaka going the long way round. And the Istihar bites back. Them two are properly fighting there, elbow to elbow. They touch going into the final chicane. But Yuki Kuni can even afford a good look over his shoulder as he crosses the line to take the race win. Brilliant stuff from him. 2 wins on the trot. And what a picture that is. In the land of the rising sun, we get to see the most perfect sunset here at the end of Saturday in Motegi. There's some talent scouts watching on as well, it's worth pointing out. These results do not go unnoticed. Yuki Kuni there, just getting the congratulations from the various members. There's Ayumu Sasaki, just on the right there with the blue jumper, congratulating him. Ayumu Sasaki, last year's champion in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup and the Red Bull Rookie Champion of 2016 as well. A major, major talent, and keep your eyes on Ayumu Sasaki when he moves into the World Championship anytime soon. But it's lovely to see that he's gone down there to show support, not just for the new championship riders, but his friends as well. They're all a great bunch of riders in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. They all get along really well. And look, Sasaki is having a chat with all of them. He knows them all really well. Motegi and Agura especially, because he beat them both to the championship last year. Great racing then in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. 3 rising stars here in Parc Ferme. Here is Agura. Perhaps a little frustrated that he wasn't able to fight for the win in the end and losing second place on that last lap. But Ayagura was 4th in the championship, and he's beaten the 3 that are ahead of him. In fact, Ayagura might actually only be a point or 2 off in the championship overall. Somket Chantra is still the championship leader. So we see that beautiful picture again. That is postcard perfect. Yuki Kuni, the race winner here in the Twin Ring Motegi, ahead of Kazuki Masaki. Ayagura was 3rd, ahead of Ryosei Yamanaka. And he is the 5th. Somket Chantra, still the championship leader, was in 6th. Further down, points for Salim Nakamura, Khairudin, Tom Edwards, Sofoglu, and Izam Ikmal. Dwiki Supata finished in 16th. There's a crash at the end there for Denitson Chu and Irfan Adin Siat. Also earlier in the race as well, a crash for Warapod Niam Sakansakul. In the championship, I can confirm that Somket Chantra will carry a 5-point lead into tomorrow's race. So he's only lost 3, but Ayagura has now moved up into 2nd place overall. Andy Istihar drops to 3rd, but is only 7 away. Look at that. Jerry Salim 4th, Yamanaka 5th, Kuni in 6th. There's 21 points between 6 riders. With 75 available, it is on. Further down there, points for Khairudin. 10th place for him in the championship. He stays put. Chanon Chu was already in... well, he's moved ahead of his brother, actually. Denitson Chu, unfortunately, he was in the gravel trap there at the end and hopefully is okay. Tom Edwards moved up a place as well. Indian rider Hamed Yansin not racing here today. A couple of red flags earlier in the weekend. Kit Chun Law from China, likewise. Do you know, I might have to get a picture of that myself. I might just take a screenshot now. That is absolutely beautiful here in Japan. It's been a wonderful day weather-wise. Blue skies, sun has been shining, but it's now setting. But we're not done with racing just yet. We'll wait for these guys to come onto the podium. Of course, tomorrow here in Japan, there's a rather big race going on. The MotoGP round 15 of the championship. We've got Moto 3, Moto 2 action as well. And then this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup group will get their opportunity to showcase their talents once more. And whatever happens, it's going to Sepang in 2 weeks' time, where we will decide the champion. It's impossible for the championship to be decided now here this weekend, which from the neutral perspective is brilliant. And 21 points between 6 riders with 75 available is just incredible, really, because the rider who's 21 points behind is Yuki Kuni, who's now got 2 wins on the trot. And if he does the same tomorrow as he's done today, then who knows what might happen. It could be the comeback of the century from the rookie. And that's the great thing about Yuki Kuni. The 13-year-old here has done one over on his 2 Japanese rivals that have already had a season in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. He's been watching and learning as he's gone by. You couldn't really wish for a better result if you're a home nation fan watching 3 Japanese riders on the top 3 steps. It's like looking at a podium from the mid-90s in World Championship level, isn't it? When the Japanese riders dominated World Championship 2-stroke racing. Well, they're back and they're coming. This sort of stuff snowballs over, doesn't it, over a year or two. And it's not going to happen overnight. But with Ayumu Sasaki coming through, Kaito Toba, and then the rest of this group, it will not be long. Of course, this comes on a day as well where Hiroki Ono got the fastest time in Moto 3 qualifying. How brilliant is that to see a 13-year-old from Japan, in Japan, singing the Japanese national anthem loud and proud. He's joined there by his compatriots, a happy-looking Masaki, and not so happy-looking Ai Ogura. The next race for the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup, well, you haven't got to wait long. It's tomorrow at 15:30 local time here in Japan. Another great race then from the stars of Asia. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you more action, and hopefully we'll get one step closer to trying to find out who will be the 2016 champion. There are 21 points separating 6 riders with 3 races to go. Race 10 of the 2016 championship will be here live tomorrow at the Twin Ring Motegi.